Another day, and hopefully it's the final day for all of this, because I got these 3 that we need to finish. So let's get started. Main thing is getting a chapter symbol painted up and done. Alright, we'll be saying let's get that done, but where the heck did I put my wraith bone? Kinda need that color for all of this. Thank goodness I bought a second one. Okay, should be enough there. Let's actually get this chapter symbol painted on. Which is terrifying, because I have not painted a squid before, so we're going to see how that goes. Hello, how's it going? What's up, everyone? Thanks. I do appreciate it. Oh, man. I'm not sure I like that too much. We have some of that. I have to fix this. No, but how's everybody's day going? Everybody doing alright? think I need a better brush if I want to do the small details on that. Alright. Yeah, I'm starting over because that just not good enough for everything else that's been going on with the model. So we're going to retry that chapter symbol later. Because I like the idea of having a giant squid on there. But I don't want it to look like one of those ink squids from Mario Kart. That's just not... I mean, on one hand, it'd be funny. Just not what I want to get with my guys. So we're going to paint over that and just start again later. Okay, setting him off to the side. Just so that shoulder pad can get fixed. Now I'm going to start with getting some varnish thrown onto this guy because he's done as I need him to be. Oh. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, small fan. I do appreciate it. Just mostly trying to get some of this stuff figured out. Still really new to mini painting and all that, but everything definitely helps me out a lot, and I do appreciate it. Oh boy. Alright, well, while we're waiting for all these guys to dry off so I can do more with them, I'm gonna get started with throwing on some primer onto my next project, which is this little guy, who I am very excited to paint up, because I have a fun idea for a color scheme on him. The algorithm found you, huh? It comes for all of us eventually. How you doing, man? Yeah, how so? You working on some minis as well? Or are you doing your first Warhammer army specifically? Oh, there we go. Blood Angels is a fun faction. I was very close to doing Blood Angels. However, I just didn't know what appealed to me most. But when I heard about the lore behind the deep Krakens, I couldn't resist. Especially paint scheme's kind of my favorite. Anything that includes purple is already going to be my favorite. Oh, word? Yo, that's hype. Nah, these guys I've started a little while ago. Yeah, I started these, I got them in the mail last week and I started painting them up. The only thing is that I'm just waiting because this guy, I just threw some varnish on there to seal everything in so I don't accidentally chip off, because that symbol alone took me a while and I don't want to have to do that again. This guy, I need to redo the chapter symbol because I didn't like how it was turning out. And this guy, I already threw on the hammerhead symbol, which I was actually kind of proud worked, but I wanted to get some of the markings. However, I don't really want to experiment with decals because I am not good. Yeah, these guys are all Primaris. I specifically looked for a chapter that was all Primaris or founded during the Primaris foundings that Call made, just so that way I can get the new models that come out and I don't have to worry about finding old ones. So yeah, the Dark Krakens are a Salamander chapter made by Call that the Salamanders didn't know about. Call just went, hey, here's a Primaris chapter you've never heard of before. They're going into the Octarius Wars. Have fun with the reinforcements. And that's basically how they came to be. I just like them because Salamanders on Ocean World was just a vibe that I really wanted to go with. And I've been having fun with it ever since. I just got paid today from work, and so I put in a new order so I could get a couple of what are they called? I think they're called aggressors. It's the dudes who have normally the Mark 10 Gravis armor, the heavy armor with the... I know that they can do either storm bolters or flamethrowers on their arms, since these are all part of a Salamander detachment. I was thinking one dude with the storm bolters and one with the two of them with the flamethrowers. Hey, no, that's fair. I got into Warhammer back in 2020 during the lockdown, and that's when I started reading the books and engaging with the lore. So I spent a lot of time just having fun with that. Because for me, growing up, I spent a lot of time reading books, because I used to live by a library when I was a kid, and I spent many years reading the Star Wars books specifically. And so getting stuck in 2020 with the Black Library, yeah, I filled up my time very quickly. I've heard of Flames of War. I've never actually been able to look into it, though. But I do hear a decent amount about it, and everything I've heard so far has been positive whenever I've heard it in passing. Oh, yeah? Oh. I'll have to give it a shot then. A shout. I don't know if giving a shout that would work. Oh yeah? For the most part, when it comes to the tabletop stuff, for the past 2 years, I've been watching a lot of the Play On tabletop guys, because I do like how they kind of tell a story, but also explain the rules a little bit. Oh yeah, purple's my favorite color of all time, but yeah, it's been a little difficult to match, especially having a dark black armor set with then purple for the actual armor itself. Getting highlights done it's been a little difficult. I enjoy it a lot, but it's definitely taken its toll on me. That and also because I was stubborn and unwilling. I have the decal sheets to throw onto my shoulders. I've just never used decals and I didn't want to look up a tutorial, so I just decided freehanding these symbols was going to be better. I am pretty sure I was wrong, but here we are. Oh yeah? How'd those all turn out for you? Because I love the chapter symbols and the insignia, but oh my goodness. They do not play around with these things. Yeah? That's good to hear. Okay. Got it. Oh, yeah, no, I get that. What is it? I know I've got a... Because there's a big difference between minis when it comes to tabletop stuff. Because, for example, painting my Kenku that are the 32 is a lot easier than the 28 for this human. Like, this person's going to take me forever. She is simple, but at the same time, I kind of prefer the 32mm more. They're a bit more robust. Honestly, I mean, Primaris are the first models I've owned. I am a Chaos person if I'm going with lore. My favorite factions being the Iron Warriors. So I want to buy the old Chaos sets so I can build an Iron Warrior warband. The problem is I wanted something easier to practice on. So I just decided, yeah, I'm going to do Primaris chapter first, and then I'm going to go back to the older models for the Chaos stuff. So that way I can see and compare everything for myself. Oh yeah, 40k especially takes a lot of detail because, for example, I love this model, but she's going to be a while to get stuff done. Especially her base. Her base alone is massive, and that's going to take a while to get. Which also reminds me, I haven't even thrown the primer onto her umbrella yet. But yeah, comparing, for example, this little guy and this guy, as far as mini goes, there is a massive difference between the two on what works best and how these go. And I do like this more. I do like the Space Marines more just because the more detail's fun. However, simple painting projects, there's something nice about having this on the side. But there's only so much one can do on their free time. Thanks. The one person I'm really excited for is once I finish my Marines, I want to move on to my Pumpkin Knight. Because this dude jumps straight out of Halloween is going to be very fun to mess with my players with for D&D. Going to take a while before I can actually use them, because my players do not like going to farms, but that will happen in the future some other time. Yeah. I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong, it very much is. However, I've been in nerd hobbies all of my life, and so the cost is alarming, but it's nothing I haven't dealt with before. Like, I already play Magic the Gathering, and I'm building a deck that in total is going to cost me about close to $500, and it's a meme deck just so I can mess with people. Yeah, it's expensive to get into, but just about all model hobbies are, at least for the ones that I've got experience with and I've been around. But just part of getting into it and getting things to work out. Granted, my gateway was the games, like the video games and the books, so eventually I was going to sell my soul to this. No, that's very fair. Oh my goodness, yeah, that is fair. The artwork on some of the cards is really good. I got a friend who's very interested right now because of the Final Fantasy decks that are coming out. I don't have too much interest because my favorite Final Fantasy game is 3, which is a very hot take because just about nobody likes 3, let's be real. There's a reason why. But he's very interested because last I checked, he typically likes 10 and 7, which I don't blame him. I understand they're good games, they're just not my favorite. Yeah, Final Fantasy is a weird series, especially if you get into it nowadays, because in some of the older titles, there's a lot more unity on like what to expect with things. But one of the first few games I ever got on my DS was Final Fantasy III, and I absolutely loved it. Its story is definitely not anything to write home about, because the first version of 3 didn't have much of a story. The DS remake on 3 tried to force in a story that nobody paid attention to, including myself, because the story on 3 is kind of unnecessary. It doesn't matter. And the way they tie the themes in doesn't work with the fact that they encourage you to self-insert you and your friends onto the playable characters rather than give them their own face. So it's kind of weird. But again, I'm the weird guy because I'm like the one fan who really likes 3. Outside of that, just about nobody likes 3, so you're not missing a whole lot there. Honestly, I do too. The Gravis armor, I think, is some of the coolest that's come out recently. That's why the next set I bought were the, I think they're called the Aggressors, because I just figured flamethrower gauntlets to go with it is just really cool. And I like how the Gravis armor works. But it's going to take a while for all that to really work out. Oh. So this chapter scheme is part of a successor chapter for the Salamanders. It's the Dark Krakens. Basically, they come from an ocean. They're just salamanders from an ocean world, is essentially all these guys are. They just have purple on the arms and then black for the main armor with a Silver Imperialis. Hello, fellow Kraken. Honestly, yeah, getting one of each chapter is kind of something I want to do eventually, because I think that'd be cool. Heavy Intercessors. You know, I was looking at a box of Intercessors. I was also looking at some Inceptors, because I figured some Inceptors to add to a Salamander army would be kind of out there, but also funny. Because again, these guys come from an ocean world. Surely they'd have some people who fly over to provide air support when you're fighting a giant sea monster. Right? There has to be some precedent for that, to an extent. Even if they're just scouts. Yeah. But I also don't know how well Inceptors are on the table, and what kind of weapons they bring. The reason I got Eradicators in the first place is because... Yeah, there we go. Because the whole reason I got Eradicators as my first ever box is because I didn't know how to get some of this off. Like, I didn't know what weapons a water version of the Salamanders would take, so I figured melt-a-guns, because technically Salamander rules do help with that, but also, it doesn't matter where you are, ocean world or not, a melt-a-gun is going to save your ass against anything that's too big. Then eBay hawking before. Maybe it's a sign. Gosh, I know I need to go back onto eBay, because about a year ago, I started going onto eBay just to find some nostalgia stuff. Because right now on my shelf that's not around, I've got 4 original Bionicle sets from years and years ago that I'm really excited to... I'm trying to build an entire display shelf. Ah, okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. Because what I'm eventually going to have to do is... Because I like the color scheme more on these guys, but I kind of want to buy a bunch of... and get a regular detachment Salamanders, so I've got the Dark Krakens on one side and then the Salamanders on the other, just to see how that works together. Because I'd like to have more of, oh hey, Salamanders with heavy flamers and then Terminators with heavy flamers from the Salamander chapter. But then for the Primaris stuff, just having a bunch of Eradicators and Dark Krakens just to mess around with a bit more, because I think it'll be fun. I mean, it'll take a while to really get it figured out, and I'm certain my army is going to be bloated with unnecessary models just so I can experiment with everything. But thank you for the tip, because that is something I'm definitely going to look into. That makes sense. I feel like it would be hard for me personally if I bought a Primarch to do anything but paint them in their like normal color schemes. Because I feel like if you're going to get that, you just got to stick with it. Oh no, Custodes are really good too. No, that is very respectable. I like it. Oh, isn't the Primarch Vulcan different Vulcan? Oh, okay. Okay, I gotcha. But then you got your family playing Warhammer with you. That is... I can only imagine how fun Christmas is with those unboxings. Nah, I'm not Canadian. I do live in the Americas, but I am from the Pacific Northwest in the USA, and the only other place I've lived is Mexico. Going north is probably not for me. There you go. Fair. I hear Tyranids are really fun to play, so that makes sense. Especially because Tyranids are essentially bugs and dinosaurs mixed together. As a small children, especially for small boys, yeah, I can I can see that being very popular. Yeah, that checks out. That would make sense. Because if I had the money, or if I just dedicated going to Etsy more, because I already do for all my D&D miniatures, like this little guy. You know what? Yeah, I can see that. Because if I could, I would start an Imperial Knight army and then a Titan army. However, that is way too much money for one thing. However, on Etsy, I can find some deals for those things for 20 to 50 bucks. So I think I'm just going to go to Etsy to grab a few of those to practice first before I drop a few $100s on a model. But for rolling dice, I can see that, especially because Warhammer is more complicated but timed Risk. You get the fun of rolling the dice and moving things around the board like Risk, but you don't have the infinite game going on by the smart person who stays in Australia and conquers the rest of the world after getting 30 new units on. I would imagine it's easy to get 2,000 points in Knights, but that is so much money to drop, and I am starting out with painting. Like, I started painting models and minis this year, that I would be terrified to try doing a Knight army at my current thing. Four knights, 16 armatures. You know what? Fair enough. Yeah, that absolutely is going to be a difficult thing to do. Because there's so much I can do with my current skill level, and I'm not really good at kit bashing. I would accidentally force myself to kit bash this guy, because as you can see, this is all really rough. Because I only have Milliput right now, and I put the wrong gun on the wrong set of legs for the body. So technically, there is supposed to be a middle part here that connects to all these. I just built it wrong, so I had to fix that. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. That is a lot, but you'll definitely get a lot of fun out of those. But oh boy. Flame lizards. Okay, I'll have to look into that, thank you. Because I know that there's always stuff on Etsy, but I didn't know what search terms to use, so that'll definitely help me, thank you kindly. Because I am gonna need that. Okay, almost done. Almost done with that one. Okay. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, my Discord is just Degenerate Quail. Same as my YouTube channel name. I, however, on Discord, I just have a profile picture of a Lash from Advance Wars, the reboot camp, as my profile picture because she's, ever since I was a kid, she was one of my favorites. She's not very strong, especially in the competitive scene, but I liked her personality when I was playing back in the day, especially for the campaign. Because my first Advance Wars game was, crap, what's it called? It was Dual Strike on the DS. And that's when she turns and joins the good guys and leaves the evil faction. But yeah. Okay, almost finished that. But yeah, no, feel free to share. I would love to see what everyone else is doing. I spent many, many hours doing research on how people were doing their Dark Kraken paint jobs on YouTube before I actually started painting these guys. Mostly I was doing it so I could find out how to paint black armor that didn't just look straight black with nothing else. And from what I learned from watching people, was like Juan Hidalgo minis, I started watching a lot of his stuff, was just an insane amount of blue dry brushing underneath and then a thin coat of black on top of it. So you've got the highlights, but it's not straight jet black all over. And I kind of liked it. I need to practice more to make it really pop right, but I liked how it turned out. Oh boy. Ah, okay. I feel the best blue I had that I thought would work is I used Techless blue to dry brush over everything first. Then I mixed my Techless blue with Basalt Gray, which is, hold on. Where is that? Oh, I know I got it around here somewhere. Ah, well. Can't find it directly, but it was a Vallejo Basalt. Hey, Tiamat, how's it going? Yeah, I don't have great primer. The only primer I got is a giant bottle of Vallejo Black. So that's what I've been using. Because I've been slowly buying paint with every paycheck, but there's only so much I can buy. Then I'm just trying to make sure I go at a decent pace that I can afford it all. No, it's going to bother me that I don't know where my Basalt Gray went. Because I liked that gray. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Found this in a Hobby Lobby in my area and picked it up because I wanted a different gray that was a bit more darker. Because this is the only gray I had beforehand, was the blue-gray pale. But, yeah. Because when I looked on YouTube to find all of the people who were painting black armor before and doing Dark Krakens specifically, a lot of people for Dark Krakens, they wanted to all be fancy, I guess for the algorithm, which is fine. But so there would be like a dude with like a gold and silver arm, or they would do a bunch of kit bashing to do a different pose. I'm like, you know, that's cool, but I just wanted something simple to start with so I could learn how to do these guys. I can get fancy and I can start kit bashing purposefully when I've got a bit more experience under my belt. But you know how that goes. Okay. Nah, well, the reason why I'm kind of okay at painting TMS is because I started painting with D&D minis earlier this year. I just started with doing some stuff with that because I play a lot of D&D with my friends. I just was tired of proxy models, so I wanted to put actual models of things I wanted to run, but paint them so that way my players would be a bit more engaged than, oh hey, here's the giant stuffed teddy bear that we're using on the table instead of that. So I got some stuff that I'm just trying to work on. So I'm at a decent spot with painting. I'm just also trying to figure it all out. Then, oh. What I wish I could do is, because I'm streaming all this from my phone, is I really wish I could pull up a picture next to me. Because when I was trying to figure out what next to paint on these guys, I asked my friend, because I already did the crush claw symbol and then I did the hammerhead symbol, but I didn't want to do the squid, so I asked my friend and he told me to do the serpent one. So I gotta freehand a serpent on here, and that has me terrified. Also has me wishing I had a super fine brush, because this is the smallest brush I got and it does not do super fine detail on these. Okay. How on earth am I gonna... Yeah, freehanding is definitely hard, but they don't, last I checked, I didn't see any official decals made for Dark Kraken chapter, so I just gotta figure this out as I go on. I think I'm going to keep this outline and just work on it. I know it's not the official symbol because I'm pretty sure the actual symbol for the darn serpent is slightly different. But we're just going to work with what I've got for now. Okay. I'll put a bit more white down there. Then I'm going to go back and fix everything by throwing some purple back on and thinning everything out. Oh boy, that scared me. That really had me terrified. But okay. However, one thing I'm going to do is, so when I first made this, I liked the hammerhead shark head theme for this one. However, officially they don't have a mouth on it, so it just looked like a wonky T. So I threw in a mouth just to make it work. On these guys, I kind of want to use like a dot of red to give it more of an intimidating eye. Just so that way you kind of know what I'm trying to get at, because yes, it's supposed to be a sea serpent, but I'm just not sure if I'm going to make that work as is. So I kind of want to throw on some of that. And if I'm dotting any red, I got to use the most brutal color I have. Because blood for the blood god works on everything. And I will never not use it. Because it is easily one of the best paints that I can use. Granted, it does not layer well, unless if you let it flow. Okay. That is my best attempt at the serpent symbol that I'm probably going to get from all this. So I'm going to call that good as is. I'm just going to dot the I. First I need to get a toothpick. I know I've got something around here. I should at least. So I don't have a toothpick to sharpen, so what I'm instead gonna do is just find wherever I set down blood for the blood god. Gosh dang it, where did I put that paint? Oh, there it is. Okay. Now we're gonna dot the I. Okay. You know, I think that turned out well. All things considered, that turned out well. I thought, oh, that is such a relief. I was terrified of how that was going to go. Okay. What I do want to do is I'm going to sharpen a little over the nose just to make it a bit more angular. But I think I can call that chapter symbol done once I just threw in that quick correction. Oh, that's such a relief. Okay, yeah. You can throw a little bit more white on there just to finish filling out that symbol. Then I think I can just move on from there. Okay. I think I can call the serpent done on him. Now for the final symbol on the right shoulder, or pauldron. Okay. Could have sworn I had that nearby. I guess I don't anymore. Okay. Well. So we're not doing anything fancy. We're just going to be simple. Same symbol on all of their shoulders. Just keep it simple. Keep it manageable. I can get fancy later when I've got my reference sheet out again. Also when I find out where I placed it, because I definitely do not have it next to me anymore. Just about to knock my phone off the table. That would be disastrous. Man, this one's really coming out jank. Wait, technically I freehanded all three of the triangles, so they're all jank, but this one really is coming out jank. It's bothering me the most. Okay. I think I'm gonna call that one good there. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Okay. Alright, let's get some varnish on this guy. Get him finished up. So that would be the first 3 Eradicators going into my new army for Warhammer, and also my first army in Warhammer. Okay. Thank goodness. It took 3 streams to get 3 guys done. Goodness gracious, I am slow. But I'm going to call that good for these guys, and I'm going to switch over so I can let these guys dry off for a bit. And I'm going to get started with painting this little guy up. Granted, I need to throw some more primer on him because it didn't get everywhere that I needed it to. Yeah. There we go. Move it a bit like that. Call it good. Yeah, it's going to be a bit more complicated to get this guy painted up. Well, I'm going to table him for now, let him dry. These guys, however, I am very proud and happy of how they came out. So I'm going to just let them dry, call them good, but just for a last minute showcase. We had frontline symbols, this one with the death claw. He's got his little computer on his arm out, painted, dotted. Scared the crap out of me when I did that, but turned out well. The guy with the hammerhead shark symbol, multi-melta, then that symbol on his shoulder. Then final guy is just regular dude with the serpent symbol on him, frontline again, just like that. So thank you for everybody showing up and for watching. I think I'm gonna give myself a few minutes just so I can take a break and get that figured out, and then I'll probably get started on this guy soon, but I need to experiment a little bit and get the paint to be a bit more even with how I want his armor to come out, so I'm gonna leave that for another stream though. Thank you everybody for joining and for hanging out. Until then, hope you have a good day, and thank you all just for your time. Take care now.